Hey everyone, and welcome back to stage 3 of the 7 steps. So now we're going to look at the solar plexus chakra. So don't forget, this is a mini this goes surface level. If you really want to go deeper with me, then please get in touch, and we can arrange some private sessions, or you might want to train and to become a practitioner in the courses, spiritual coaching courses that I do in EFT. So please let me know. So hopefully you are getting it and you understand why we tap and how it calms the nervous system, how it gives an outlet to those suppressed emotions that are really kind of running and dictating your life. So we've now moved up to the solar plexus, so that the stomach area. So a lot of people here with imbalances can have IBS, because they get that tight feeling, and that's the vagus nerve. When it's when your fight or flight is stimulated, the vagus nerve kind of tightens up, and your vagus nerve touches all your vital organs, the digestive system being one. Digestive system is a major organ, and it also contains the same nerve network as your brain. That's why they call it gut feeling. It's your enteric, it's called an enteric nervous system, and it's also known as the little brain. So that's why we say the gut feeling, but we can really get impacted in this area. So let me think now. So the issues here are around identity. It's the way that we project ourselves into the world. So this chakra is being born, or developed, if you like, between the ages of 14 to 22. So this is where we are really kind of, what do you want to do for a job, for a living, what do you want to be? You have to work hard, you go to school, you pass your exams. If you don't pass your exams, you're going to end up on the scrap heap. You must be successful to be happy. These are the kinds of messages that we receive here. So this is where our ego, if you like, is developed. There's a sense of separation and identification with the ego, as in, I want this, I want that, and then we attach to things. If I have that because of media and advice from our parents and stuff, you must have that to get that. You must have that to feel that. So we place expectations on the material world around us. We believe it's going to fulfill a need in us that is an emotional need, and these tangible things never bring long-lasting emotional stimulus with them. That it's just not a sustainable thing. We all know, if we've bought a new handbag or a new house or a new car, that feeling of euphoria is very short-lived, and then we're on to the next thing. But we can do that in jobs as well, and relationships. So it's about filling up the imbalances. It's about working with the energy to figure out, where is it you project yourself out into the world with maybe a false identity. So it's really is the place that we cut off from our true self, because we project ourselves into society in the way that we want to be seen. And we do that for a myriad of reasons. Like, what are our drivers underneath it? Why do we present ourselves in that way? Why do we lack confidence even? Or why do we overexert control over others? What need is it fulfilling? So the card that's just jumped out, I am wearing yellow, by the way. You can't see. But yellow governs the solar plexus. So the card that just jumped out here is the superhero. Really interesting card. I've just worked with a client on an archetype of the superhero that was really taking over his life, draining his energy, controlling his decisions, making him feel very not aligned to his true self. So we worked on figuring out what his strengths really were, who he really was at the core. So the superhero is the one that can do all, be all, wants to be seen, wants to have all these accolades, wants to have that level of success, wants to be revered by his peers, his community, his family. But really on the inside, could be completely feeling so insecure and needs to project himself in this way to try and feel that sense of validation in the world, but it's the not true self. And that's what the whole 7 Steps program is about. It's to help you find the true self. So we're going to work on issues of kind of confidence, power, who we are, finding our true self, our true identity. So again, in the previous videos, feel free to change any of the words to match your story around this spiritual center, the solar plexus. What stories played out for you around the ages of 14 to 21? Who were you told you had to be? I know so many people who are forced into a career by the expectations of their family, only to find out 5-10 years down the line they're not living a life that's true to their soul. It happens so often. We're not really given the freedom of choice as a child to dictate the direction of our life. Maybe, you know, you wanted to be an actor or a traveler, but you were told to be a doctor or a solicitor instead. And it's not the true self, and it's where we can crash and burn. Burnout happens in this center because it's the motivation, it's the drive, it's the will, it's the success factor, it's the ego that needs to be driven by what we've been told will make us feel a certain way. And that's what we attain to. And we see it so much on social media. So much. You have to look a certain way, you have to have a certain thing to get the girl, to get the boy, or whatever. You know, it's drilled into us that we have to have these things to be validated as a person. And when we live that life, we can definitely get to a crisis point that leads you to seek a spiritual coach. That leads you to want to figure out who the true self is underneath all this false persona. I've done it myself, and it led me to a crisis, which was the best thing that ever happened in the end. All right, so let's just tune in to the solar plexus. Just tune into that card, the superhero. Let's tune into the superhero. Where is or isn't this playing out in your life? Maybe you are playing far too small and you're really holding back your light and it's not serving you. Or maybe you feel like you have to be this every day and it's draining you. You can't sustain it anymore. And maybe you just got to a point where you want to know who the true self is underneath all of this conditioning and false projection. Okay, so just tune into the stomach area. Take those nice, slow, deep, rhythmic breaths. 4 or 6 counts on the in-breath, 4 or 6 counts on the out-breath. And maybe if you want, you can put a hand on the stomach area, the solar plexus. You might see the colour yellow. But just tune into that area and just notice how it feels. What emotions are lying in the solar plexus area. On a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you? How do you feel when you walk into a room full of strangers? I just want you to see yourself in a situation that you find yourself in often. It could be work, it could be relationships, it could be family, friends. And I want you to notice the person or the persona, the character that you project into that environment. Does it really reflect how you feel about yourself? Or is it a character that you formed to be accepted, validated, loved, to get by? And why did you form this particular, we call it archetypes, but this particular persona? And if it feels like it's a not true self, meaning it's not completely reflective of who you really are and how you really feel, and it's an identity that you portray to meet certain needs, just want you to imagine that, but move it out of the way. So maybe right now it's right in front of you, or it's to the side of you, but it feels very strong in your life because it's who you're showing up as every day. Just want you to mentally, visually imagine that energy just moving out the way. Just move out the way a little bit. Breathe. It's always better to do this with your eyes closed. And now that character's moved out the way, I just want you to scan your whole body from head to toe. Especially focusing on the stomach area. And just see what emotions come up for you. Any words, any memories, any sentences or experiences that you haven't given room for before. And I just want you to imagine yourself going into that same situation that you do often, but showing up as your true self. How different does it feel? What's different about your body language showing up as your true self? What about your emotions? What's different? How do you feel? What thoughts are running through your head? Now maybe you feel very insecure by doing this. That you have all these fears that people are going to treat you a certain way, that XYZ is going to happen to you, which is why you created this false self in the first place. So just erase that memory, erase that imagination, just see the whole scene going white. And take a breath. Now in your mind's eye, with the power of your imagination, I want you to see a scene where you go back into that situation that you do often. And I want you to show up as your best self. The very best version of you. That part of you that knows itself at the core, that has a firm, solid, yet flexible roots, but are unbreakable. That part of you that has a deep inner self and a deep knowing about who they really are. Their values are strong. Their emotions are balanced. They're safe with vulnerability. They're safe to express themselves and show up who they really are. Now I want you to see that best version of you projected out into the world and into that situation that you do often. So breathe and let your mind run free and use that beautiful gift of imagination and visualize yourself showing up to that place with those people as your true self, but your best self. And how different does that feel and look? Tell me about your physical body. How is the posture? How has it changed? How is it different? And how authentic does it feel now? And what about your emotions? How are they? And what about your thoughts? How are they? And how connected spiritually do you feel to yourself now? In full alignment, right? Okay. Now don't let that go. Stay with that best self, because that's who you really are. Remember that every day as often as you can. Your life experiences, all they've done is they've stacked up belief systems. And those belief systems create a reality for you based on the brain having to filter, delete, and distort all the billions of information it receives to be a certain, so it keeps you at a certain level in your life, because that's safe. And when you want to move forward and discover who the real person is, so you can live your best life, fulfill your whole potential, then you have to change your perception of yourself. Change your perception of yourself, you change your reality. So just holding that vision right inside of you, you can even lock it into your heart if you like. You can imagine breathing it into the heart, or breathing it into the stomach as well. So to the heart, take it to the stomach as well. And literally feel like you've just put a lock and seal on it. And that's now who you can project yourself into the world. Firstly, we're going to do some tapping to release the limitations, the blocks, the fears, and the doubts that have been playing out for you so far when we think about how you project yourself. Change the words to suit your story. Okay, so let's start with the karate chop. So even though I've been projecting this version of myself, that's okay. It's totally okay. I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I've not been my true self, God, I've been showing up completely different to who I really am. That's okay. I accept myself anyway. Even though I've projected a version of myself that doesn't reflect how I really feel, I totally accept myself. I accept all parts of me. We all do this on some level. I accept myself for doing this so far. Even though I've not felt good enough, my confidence has been on the floor. Maybe I've hidden this so well, no one would ever know that's how I truly felt. I accept myself. This lie I've been living, it's not me. This lie I've been living, I'm telling myself this lie about myself. It's not me. I've been lying to myself about who I really am. I've not been showing up in the world fully. It's time to be me. Take a deep breath in. And just tune into how that feels. And just notice what's coming up for you, any statements, any experiences, any words that you really want to dive into. Even though maybe I've controlled people and I've not seen it before, it's okay. It's totally okay. Maybe I've hurt people and I've criticized them and judged them. It's okay. It's totally okay. Maybe I've stepped over people to get to get where I want to be. That's okay. I'm okay. I've criticized and judged myself so harshly. Tried to be perfect in everything I do, but it's just not who I really am. It's okay. It's totally okay. Maybe I just don't have the motivation to achieve what it is that I want to achieve. But without achieving it, I feel like a failure. I don't know what else to do. I don't know who I am. Without success, I'm nothing. Without achieving anything or being successful or having money or having awards, I am nothing. I am nothing unless people are telling me I'm amazing and great. I feel inferior to people who are making it. I compare myself to others constantly. I'm always telling myself I'm no good and I'll never be good. I might as well just quit. It's too bloody hard anyway. It's not even worth it. It's just burning me out. What's the point anyway? And take a deep breath. Okay. So let's put some power statements back in place, and you can keep tapping on, the repressed emotions even more. Keep tapping until you feel that the intensity is really coming down for you. And bring up the deepest, darkest, horrible things that you can think, but are there. Let them come up and give them a voice. That's the point. So let's do some power tapping. Okay. Even though I've created this false self, I know who I am. I've actually always known who I am. I've just been afraid to show it. Who I am is actually bloody fantastic. Who I am is awesome. I am the best version of me. I know what the best version of me looks like and feels like, and I feel safe and comfortable with that. I'm comfortable being me. I'm totally comfortable being me, whatever that means to me. And if people don't like me, then it's really not my fault. It's not my problem. I don't need to fix it for other people. All I need to do is be me. And all I need to do is allow other people to be them. No more judging. No more criticizing. No more perfectionism. No more comparison. Only love. From now on, I will only love myself. I have that power within me. I have that power to visualize my best self every day. And I have the power and capability to be that. And on some days when I can't be that, when some days I'm just not feeling it, that's okay. It's totally okay, because that's me too. That's me too. And breathe. Okay, guys, now I hope you enjoyed that. Please keep tapping. Do as much of this as you like. Use the meditation and use that visualization technique every day. Always check yourself. How are you showing up? How are you showing up? You have the power to choose who that is. You now have visualized what your best self looks like. Move forward with that power. And good luck, guys. Take care.